Welcome back, 623, and part 3 of our series, Reclaiming Kahoolawe. Lacey shares us the scars left behind by the military who used the island as a testing ground for extremely powerful bombs.
Even knowing this history, the images are shocking. Here's Lacey Denise.
This is one of the areas that suffered the most significant amount of damage. It's called Sailor's Hat, and it used to reach out to the beach, but now it's left with this. In 1965, under the sponsorship of the Defense Atomic Support Agency, the Navy decided to use this portion of the southwest coast of Kahoolawe to test the effects of a simulated atomic bomb and determine how Navy ships could survive an attack.
Instead of having a real atomic bomb, they put 500 tons of TNT in a large mound on this point of land sticking out into the ocean, and they anchored ships offshore, every 100 yards or so. And they blew up this bomb. They pushed all the dirt back in, put another 500 tons of TNT, blew it up again.
A total of 3 massive blasts were conducted. Each could be seen for miles by land, air, and sea. Its shockwaves were powerful enough to reach the ships anchored offshore. But what was left on the island?
We came and we saw this crater, and it was like, couldn't believe our eyes that somebody, a bomb could do that. I mean, I've seen other craters on the island, but they were all small little craters and stuff. But that one was, I don't know how to explain it, except the destruction was total.
One report says the explosion actually broke the island's waterlands. However, other hydrologists say fractures into the overlying rock are common throughout volcanic islands. Overall, there is very little water recharge on Kahoolawe. The hard-pan soil makes it difficult for the island to absorb any of the rainfall.
That island was dying, and that crater represents the mortal blow to that island.
It's places like this that fuel the drive for the Protect Kahoolawe Ohana, including Walter Reedy and Dr. Emmett Aluli, to stop the bombing.
And we would hear the stories and would feel the impact of bombs, and we would see clouds blow. And looking at the history of all the injustices that had been done historically, it was a move to kind of go and see the island and feel the island and hear the voices of Kahoolawe.
Today, the military and Navy are gone, but the massive crater remains.
When I went there, I cried. Every time I go there, I tear up.
From destruction to creation, Sailor's Hat is now the largest anchialine pond in the state and is home to 2 endemic species of shrimp.
In the rock, we have shrimp, have these larvae, and the larval forms go into these areas and they grow to adult forms. And opaiula, the red shrimp.
The image of Sailor's Hat speaks volumes and has grasped the attention of people from around the world to come and help heal the island.
That's the kind of feeling that you gain from coming here, is you want to stand up more. You don't have to be Native Hawaiian, to feel that feeling. It's like the earth. You want the earth to be healthy, because without the earth, we're gone. Without the trees, we can't breathe. The ocean gives us most of our oxygen, and people are polluting it.
Somehow, somewhere, I know that island is going to survive. All we had to do was stop the bombing. That was always our #1 goal. It wasn't about sovereignty. It wasn't about us developing our protocols, and it wasn't about us as Hawaiians. It was about stopping the killing of an island.
And coming up tomorrow in our Reclaiming Kahoolawe special reports, we'll explain how the island was at the center of 2 really significant Hawaiian movements that helped to save the Hawaiian culture from extinction. Yeah. So you can see by the images there, it was just incredible. And when you actually step on that portion of the island and you look, the crater is just massive. And we can actually see portions of rock that were melted and just fractions of rocks everywhere. And it's overwhelming when you see it.
This is interesting to see how life is coming from the destruction, but it's also another thing interesting because the bombing of Kahoolawe, that's still something that's pertinent today with Pohakuloa and the Big Island, and so that brings up other things up to mind in that.
Right. And it's still, I mean, this is years later, and it's still, I mean, you heard Sasha talking about it. You cry when you go there. You just imagine what was falling down from the sky, the Navy ships anchored offshore, and you just imagine all that trauma the island went through, and it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I mean, you mentioned Sasha, right? Because you have Walter Riddy, who is so eloquent about it, and Dr. Aluli, but to hear that perspective and that emotion come from someone so young, an intern who probably studied the history but wasn't necessarily there, I mean, that it moved her is pretty amazing.
Exactly, and she actually compared it. She said, you know, we're moving rocks, we're working long days trying to restore the island, and it hurts. But you compare that to how much the island was hurting, it's nothing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good job, Lacey.
Thanks.
We'll be right back.